Oh, see, the first part of that question, I was like, I don't know if I agree with that.
He'll do anything it takes to fight for the safety and home of his people.
See, I don't know if that's the truth really about him.
Interesting.
Boy, I think that's what he wants you to think. I think that's what he wants his people to think. But I think there are different motives driving Gravik, and well, actually, I know that there are, and episodes coming will reveal more.
Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Movie Podcast. My name is Daniel, and joining alongside me today, it's SkrullBaz. I don't like the way that sounds. It doesn't sound right.
No,
it doesn't sound right.
And a little offensive, I think.
I'm listen, Shay, I'm offended by it.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine how you're feeling
That's
about it.
how people pronounce my name when they read it the first time. They're like, oh, it's too difficult of a name, SkrullBaz.
I'm not going to even try to
I'm not even
pronounce
gonna
that.
try.
Like, no.
That's my name on a call sheet. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, seriously. Shay, how you doing though?
You know, I'm doing great. I am living the life. I'm relaxing. I'm talking about movies. I was feeling a little like reminiscent of film, and I say that because we loved Across the Spider-Verse, and that's still the only movie that I can kind of think about. So I was talking today. I'm like, man, I just want to watch it again. That's what I'm so excited about. But you know what? We've got some great interviews right now, and cannot wait to talk about them as well.
We do. And listen, let's stay in the Marvel family. You
Yeah.
know, we're here. Let's stay in the Marvel family. Today on the Movie Podcast, we are so excited to welcome Ali Selim and Kingsley Ben-Adir of Secret Invasion, which is premiering on Disney Plus this week. You'll be able to check it out on the platform on Wednesday, June 21st. This is one that you could check out a review for. We had a lot of thoughts going into this one, and with 6 episodes, there's so much story that we're really excited for them to cover. The first episode is going to be available this week, like I said, and then every week from there, 6 weeks from now, we'll see how it all plays out at the very end. But Jay, going into this interview, you know, Kingsley especially is someone that, you know, we've loved for so long. What were your thoughts going into this interview?
Well, I mean, my first thoughts were don't say his name incorrectly, because we kept calling him Bensley as just like an inside joke kind of thing,
as a shortcut to
his
name.
Like,
Bensley.
oh, like his boys probably call him Bensley, and like, why would they call him that? So
I don't think they do.
No, I don't think so either. So I think we were just I was going in like that. But I mean, we loved his performance in One Night in Miami, and to think that, you know, now he's part of the Marvel family, which is a great family to be a part of. That and the Toretto family, I believe. It was exciting because he's such a great presence in this show. So to get to talk to him about that and kind of get some of the inside scoops as to what we can expect with his character coming forward, and kind of like what our interpretation of his character is right now, and how we're probably pretty wrong according to him. So it's curious to see where it goes.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and being able to talk to the director Ali Selim, who gave us so much insight into the show and where this is going and why this is such a big departure from Marvel, and of course getting to work with Sam Jackson and really getting to explore a more vulnerable Nick Fury, one that we're not used to seeing. And that's something that I'm really excited that Secret Invasion is giving us. But of course, this is the Movie Podcast. You can catch up brand new episodes and reviews and interviews all throughout the week. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd. We have some incredible giveaways going on right now. If you want to see movies early, if you want to win copies of movies on Blu-ray and 4K and digital, we got you covered. You're already in the best place for movies, so stay here. Don't say stick it right here, Shay. No, stay here. We want you to be comfortable. I also want to let you know, if you are watching this on YouTube, hi, this is what we look like. Subscribe, leave a comment below, and of course, join our Discord. Our Discord is popping. We have some great conversations going on in there. We're going to be opening up a spoiler room for Secret Invasion, which of course is a show full of secrets, so we want to make sure that we protect that experience for everyone. But let's come talk about it. Episodes of the Movie Podcast may end, but it doesn't mean the conversation has to stop there. I've talking for enough.
Sorry, is that
I'm
Swedish?
done talking. I've talking enough.
I've talking enough.
You know? I've talking enough. No, I've spoken enough right now. Let's dive right into our interviews with Ali Selim and Kingsley Ben-Adir.
Hi, Ali. How are you doing?
Great. How are you? Where are you guys?
We're in Toronto.
Oh, my favorite.
It's pretty great. It's pretty great.
That's
Next time you're here,
great
you got to let us know.
I will.
Okay. We'll take your word for it.
I'm
You know,
there
thank
all
you
the
so much
time.
for.
Yeah. Are you really?
Yeah, I shoot there a lot, so I'll come up and I'll be in your studio with you.
Oh,
perfect.
please. Yeah, well, we'd love to have you.
It's very Marvel-like.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us on the Movie Podcast, and congratulations on the series.
Thank you.
Secret Invasion is one of the few Marvel projects that have released on Disney Plus with a mature rating. How did you balance kind of telling a story that is still accessible to all audiences while leveraging the opportunities of that rating?
It's a very good question, and I have to say I never thought about it. I just thought about how does this story need to be told in the best possible way. The story on the page was very much about kind of darker, deeper, less binary themes like distrust and suspicion and paranoia, things that aren't so, good versus bad, but like gray area. And I think that more than anything just takes more thought and it becomes a more mature idea. So I think for me, the maturity is more about those themes and less about blood and gore and cutting fingers off and whatever else happens in the show. So that story needs to be told in the way that story needs to be told. When you read the page, you're drawn immediately into those themes. For me, those themes, coupled with the fact that this is about a lone wolf, Nick Fury, returning to Earth, questioning himself in a philosophical way, questioning himself in a physical way. He's lost his step a little bit. Combine all of that, and I'm immediately drawn back to film noir. So I go back to study not early Marvel movies, but The Third Man and The Conversation by Coppola and the Paranoia trilogy by Alan Pakula, the Clute and The Parallax View and All the President's Men. And to find that sense of the cloud of paranoia sort of cast over this story, coupled with, I think Nick reveals in the second episode that the Avengers aren't coming and this is his battle to fight on his own. I think you will see him, I don't know for sure, but I think you'll see him evolve into, over these 6 episodes, more of a classic Western gunslinger. So we went back and studied The Searchers and other John Ford movies and even Clint Eastwood and Unforgiven.
I love that. And especially when we have someone who's just as talented as Samuel L. Jackson. We haven't seen Nick Fury for a couple years. So what was it like for you now getting to explore that more vulnerable side of who his character is?
Well, it's more interesting than just exploring a surface badass, right? It's more interesting to go inside someone and really find what makes them tick. And I think it was interesting because Nick Fury was doing the same thing that I was doing, and it's the same thing that Sam Jackson was doing, is going inside Nick Fury really for the first time, because the personal life of Nick Fury and the internal life of Nick Fury has never been explored in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it was thrilling because basically that's what I do in my own life every day, is figure out what the hell I'm doing here.
I love that.
That's amazing. Like, thank you again so much for your time. Before we quickly just head off here, really quickly, what is your favorite Marvel movie of all time?
My favorite Marvel movie of all time. I have to go back to Iron Man, which started it all. My kids were the right age. I had no idea what to expect, and it thrilled me and challenged me and surprised me. And so, yeah.
Thank
Perfect.
you for that. Thank you so much for your time. And
Thank
we
you.
can't wait for people to see the rest of this show as well.
Enjoy. I hope it doesn't disappoint.
Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today on the Movie Podcast, and congratulations on the series.
Yeah, my pleasure, and thank you.
Kingsley, you're now joining the MCU. You're playing Ken later this summer, and then next year you're going to be taking on the role of Bob Marley. What's the most important thing for you when you're choosing your next roles to play?
That they're different, and that they offer that they're a different challenge. But it's kind of selfishly just trying to keep it interesting for me, you know.
Definitely.
But yeah. Ken was straight after this, so it was a no-brainer.
I love that. And you have such incredible presence in this show as well. So I'm so excited to see where the rest of the show goes, and of course, what you have coming up next for us, because we're so excited to see you as Ken.
Cool, man.
Gravik is a character who will do anything it takes to fight for the safety and home of his people. How did you get behind his ambition, and do you consider him a villain?
Oh, see, the first part of that question, I was like, I don't know if I agree with that. Say the first part of the question, the first part of the statement, really, before the question.
Will do anything it takes to fight for the safety and home of his people?
See, I don't know if that's the truth really about him.
Interesting.
Boy, I think that's what he wants you to think. I think that's what he wants his people to think. But I think there are different motives driving Gravik, and well, actually, I know that there are, and episodes coming will reveal more. But I think definitely his charisma or his ability or part of his scheming or his manipulation really is that he's able to convince the people around him that that's the truth. But really, something else has to be going on. I think we meet him at a point where the convincing has happened. That he's on the way. He's crossed the line. But yeah, I'm not sure I agree with
That's fair, because that leads me kind of into my next question here, where there's so much that's going to be happening in Secret Invasion without obviously revealing any spoilers or anything. What episode are you most excited for people to see?
I think 3 or 7, but that's just selfishly because they're episodes where I got to have the most fun.
Interesting. Okay.
Not 7, 3 and 6.
I was going to say, we're breaking news right now. There's 7 episodes.
Not 7. There is no episode 7. Why did I think 7?
Okay.
Yeah, maybe one time there was 8 of these and they changed it to 6.
Got you. Now that's fantastic, and I'm curious. You are working alongside an incredible cast in this series, and we get to see a more vulnerable side of Nick Fury in this. What was it like working with Sam Jackson? Did he impart any wisdom on you? And I'm just curious, what was it like working with him?
It was great fun. I think all the wisdom or the tools that you take, you just have to watch Sam operate on set, and see how he moves through the space. And there's no explicit, you must do this or you mustn't do this. It was just we just got straight to the work, really, which was great. And yeah, you just get, I don't know, a lot of confidence and a lot of fun knowing that you're working with someone who's coming from that kind of level of experience. And he's created some amazing characters, over the last 20, 30 years. He's done some astonishing things in cinema and worked with the greats. So to be around him, you're just trying to pick up on as much as you can. But I guess the great thing about Sam is that you can kind of ask him anything, and he'll sit down and he'll give you the time and he'll tell you all about it, So yeah, I think we spoke a lot about Pulp Fiction, and I asked him loads of questions just about different actors he'd worked. Sam knows everyone and he's seen everything, and he has an opinion about everything. So yeah, he's good. He's good conversation.
How could you not? How could you not? Try and take as much as you can with someone like that. Kingsley, we just got to say thank you so much again for your time today. You were so wonderful in the series. We're so excited to see where everything goes. And really quickly, if you can, before we go, favorite Marvel movie of all time?
I think the first Black Panther, was a bit of a moment.
Love that.
Love it.
Thank you so much again. Hope to talk to you again.
Yeah, likewise.
And welcome back, Shahbaz. I was hoping during one of those interviews that either Ali or Kingsley were going to kind of not pull off their mask, but just transform and be like, I've been a Skrull. I'm like, wow, these junkets have really upped their budget a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Would that be breaking news for us? I guess we'd be kind of breaking that. We'd be like, wow, turns out Kingsley Ben-Adir is a real Skrull.
He's a real Skrull.
So
also,
awkward.
Aliens real? Question mark.
A little bit of a existential crisis.
That's the second part. Yeah. But it's funny though, talking about breaking news. I thought we were getting a bit of a breaking news moment there, eh? We kind of did a little bit where I felt like they went into the show where maybe it was going to be 7 episodes or 8 episodes, but actually it was 6, and they kind of trimmed it down to tell the best story. How do you think those interviews went, Shay?
Really well. I mean, we had a great conversation with Ali Selim. There's not much about him online, so when you're kind of going into it, you're like, oh, what's he gonna sound like or talk like? And then when we finally got into it, he was just so prophetic. He just had so much to say about the actual show and how much.
And Toronto, and he loves Toronto.
He loves Toronto.
Yeah.
If we had more time with him, I'm sure we could have gone for an hour just talking about all the things that he kind of wanted to bring into the show. There seems to be a real method to his madness of what he's about to show us. So looking forward to kind of diving into the series further and seeing where that goes. And of course, with Kingsley, same thing, just kind of getting that little nugget of information, so it's going to be about 8 episodes, but now you guys trimmed down to 6. Curious what they had to cut out, and if anything big, maybe, maybe some, we'll only be able to tell after the series is done. So curious.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, just hearing him talk about his relationship with Sam Jackson and learning from him and talking with him, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And he's awesome. He was just really cool. He's such like I don't think like we also don't get a lot of projects with him using his natural, born voice. So whenever we he kind of broke into it and he was like, oh, like you are so British sounding, man. It's just, sometimes you're just not expecting it, right?
He's just so cool.
He's so cool. He's very, very cool. Very James Bond-esque. Technically, you heard it from Anthony because Anthony said it during our review.
Did say it.
He did say it there. So, but you heard it on the movie podcast first. You heard it on the movie podcast first. We'll just say that. I just want to say thank you to our friends at Disney Studios Canada for inviting us to do these interviews. We are so excited to see where Secret Invasion goes from here. Make sure you tune in every single Wednesday on Disney Plus. And I want to say again, thank you to Ali and to Kingsley for sharing your time with us on the show today. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at The Movie Podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Discord. Let's have the conversation. Let's get a really cool conversation going for the show. It's full of secrets, and we want to talk about all of them every single week. So for the next 6 weeks, as all the weeks in the year, The Movie Podcast is the best place to be. That was this time with The Movie Podcast, and we'll see you next.